My name is Luke Carlos O'Reilly.
Gabriel Bryant.
My name is Jocelyn Andino.
Taj. Isaiah.
My name is Umar Ali. I live in North Philadelphia, and I've been harassed by the cops.
Many people are not aware of how frequent police harassment occurs. During this video, you will hear personal stories about encounters with police officers and learn how this issue is affecting the community and our relationship with police. Nonetheless, we are aware that not all police officers abuse their power, but this continues to be a pressing issue.
Have you ever witnessed or experienced police harassment?
No, walking on the street listening to music, really couldn't hear nothing. It was cops, but I really couldn't hear nothing, music blasting. And I don't know, I just felt like ground move a little bit, like people running. And I looked back for like about a half a second, and I was like tackled. 2 cops gripped me up against the wall and put me in handcuffs.
I had been off to the side, came over, I said, "Excuse me, officer, you know, let me tell you what happened here." Like, you're not getting the whole story. And he turned around and he put his hand out and he pushed me and he said, get off the curb, like, you know, go away. I said, no, but you don't understand, this is my boy, and he didn't know anything. And he turned around and he started cursing me, and I said, I'm not cursing at you, I don't know why you're cursing at me. And then I guess that did it for him.
I was on the train at Spring Garden Station, and my friend was holding the door open for me because I was stuck behind the turnstile. Now, when I got onto the platform, I seen the cop gripping my friend up and ripping him off the train. So I just approached him calmly. I was like, "Officer, he was holding the door for me." He was like, "Well, he shouldn't have been holding the door. That's a crime." I said, "Okay, well, I understand he's wrong, but you shouldn't have put your hands on him. We're reasonable people. You can speak to us, and we'll do what you ask."
He was in the park. We was having a conversation by like a little bench, and a cop came up on his bike, and he said, "Who was smoking?" Real aggressive. And we wasn't smoking, and he just started going out of control, started gripping people up, trying to search them.
He put me on a car. Yeah, I don't know, cause he just did it, just told me to stand in front of the car, and then he started checking my pockets, and then put me on the car, and then checked my back pocket. It was more rough than it should have been, and I didn't feel right about it.
Are you proud, like you were a 40-year-old man just like trying to toss me against the wall? I'm like, I'm 18, boy, like, and right now I'm more calmer than you. Like every time I say something to him, he get madder and madder. I'm not resisting or nothing. Like, honestly, I'm telling him, like, he telling me to do something, I'm doing it, like, because I know I don't have nothing, so.
I start yelling out, like, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?" Because he hadn't said any kind of, you're under arrest. He hadn't read me any rights. He just said, "You effed up," and put me in like a headlock. And he said, "Put your hands behind your back." I said, "All right," because I wasn't trying to fight, you know, with a police officer. Put my hands behind my back, put handcuffs on, and then he put my head against the curb. He took out a baton, a nightstick, and he hit me a couple times. Hit me in the lower back and hit me in the head a couple times.
1 black man is killed every 28 hours by police or vigilantes.
They didn't say anything about my rights or anything. It just came up and grabbed me. Well, I asked them, like, why am I in this car? Like, what did I do? And they weren't really talking to me. So I guess after he like ran the information through, and I guess he got on his radio, he got something that said they caught the person. But even though I was in the car already, it wasn't. They let me go and like patted me on the shoulder, like after you tackled me, you're gonna give me a pat on the shoulder like I did something good or something. So I really disgusted.
I just feel as though the police could have done something different or carried out their procedures the way they should have.
It's a quality of life issue, right? To be constantly stopped, to be constantly harassed. You know, if you're walking down the street and you can be put up against the wall for seemingly no reason or for suspicion, based on what you're wearing or how you're walking or how you're talking or how many people are walking with you, that really is a serious case.
I was talking, but I didn't want to make the situation worse after I just got out of the car, so I was just like, I'm safe, I'm not in handcuffs anymore. So you were just happy you were let go? Yeah, but I was still angry. I was gonna go file a report. which I did that day.
In my mind, filing a complaint wasn't even an option.
You know, I've met many families, many older women, young women, girls, who have said that, you know, some officers have abused them on the street, calling them out their name, wanting to bring them back to, you know, in a squad car. So those officers need to be taken care of. And I do know that the commissioner's done a good job trying to remove a lot of the officers. In the last couple of years, I believe that Commissioner Ramsey has removed a lot of officers. And I think that that's a reflection of the fact that this is a systemic issue, that so many officers have been removed for any number of reasons.
Yo, he down, bang, good. Fuck with him. Whoa. Put your hands behind your back. Stop.
Me and my friend, we was walking down the street in the middle of the street, and we wasn't causing any harm to nobody. We had no weapons on us at all. We just walking, having a conversation. No cars were blowing at us or honking at us like we was holding up traffic or anything like that. Now, a police officer squad car pulled up, and when he pulled up, these was his exact words. He said, "Get the F on the sidewalk."
Whenever I go to a school or to a program and I ask the question, how many of you guys know anybody else who've been stopped or abused by the police, and almost every hand gets raised, that's a problem.
I mean, we could get along, just attitudes. That's my problem. Like, I believe like I should get respect if I'm showing people respect.
Each situation is going to be different. Each officer is going to be different. But that in each situation, you can only control what you can control, which is yourself. So that's to keep a level head, to be cool, calm, and composed. This is like our 3 C's, to be cool, calm, composed.
I feel as though that they could have came up to me, like they was already distance away from me. Like we could have just grabbed my shoulder and said, well, we need to talk to you for a minute. You know, it's a crime going on and we feel as though you fit the description. And maybe if they had to put me in the car, I would have complied until they did it.
If I were to see him today, I've thought about a lot of things I would say. I'd first smile. I'd say, hello, my name is Luke Carlos O'Reilly. We met in February of 2008, I believe. We were in an incident together where you hit me several times and sent me to the hospital. And I wound up going to court and you didn't show up. And the court, you know, threw out the case. It was a case where you had assaulted me. I just want to let you know what you did and who you did it to.
What needs to be understood more clearly is that we know that there are some bad officers, but even for the good officers, if you're quiet or if you're silent about those bad officers in your unit or in your precinct, then how good are you?
Well, I know that I can ask if I'm being detained or not, whether or not I'm being arrested, and I have the right to remain silent.
I know that you have the right to record a conversation. Even if a police officer is questioning you, you can take your camera out and record. And after all these different instances that we've had, starting, you know, as far back as Rodney King, as far as media goes, they need to know that what they're doing could be caught on camera, could be recorded, and they could be held accountable, and they could wind up being fired or even charged.
Oftentimes in our community, folks feel like if they're abused or attacked in some way, some way, shape, or form, there's nothing that they can do. And so we're really here to really kind of, inspire and let folks know that no, there's so much that you can do if you knew the rights, if you knew your rights, and if you understood the parameters of what's possible. There's so much that you can do as a person in the city of Philadelphia and really around the country.